Welcome to the Deep Dive. Okay, we're kicking off today with a genuinely surprising financial story. Imagine this. A classic mall-based retailer, the type, maybe peaked back in the early 2000s.
Right. The kind you might think is struggling a bit now.
Exactly. Now picture that same company hitting its highest pre-tax profit ever in its
Bye.
entire 27-year history just this past fiscal year, 2024.
That's the kind of resilience you really don't expect, especially from brands so tied to physical stores. And we've got the blueprint, really. It's all laid out in their SEC Form 10K filing for the year ending February 1st, 2025.
Yeah, and that's what this deep dive is all about. We're going to unpack the specific strategic shifts they made. We're talking digital moves, licensing deals, and some really radical changes to their real estate, how they pulled off those record numbers.
Precisely. And our mission here is to get beneath that headline number. How did a company known mostly as a kid's birthday party spot transform, become this multi-generational, omni-channel brand that's thriving?
We need to look at the financial side, obviously, but also their property strategy and how they navigated some big challenges, inflation, supply chain stuff, all while, interestingly, sticking to their core mission, add a little more heart to life.
Okay, so let's dig into that transformation. I think the foundation was a really disciplined understanding that their original customers, well, they grew up.
Right, the kids who loved them in the 90s and 2000s are adults now.
Exactly. And they realized that brand awareness, that affection, it went way beyond just young kids. They had this built-in audience.
So they moved beyond the bear, as you said before we started. They shifted from just families to actively targeting tweens, teens, and adults.
Yeah.
That feels like a big jump, potentially risky, diluting the core appeal.
It could be, yeah. But the filing shows they managed it very carefully, using like specific channels for specific groups. Well, a huge piece was leveraging pop culture through really smart licensing deals. I mean, the list of partners in the 10K it's impressive. Disney, NBC Universal, Lucasfilm, Pokemon, Viacom CBS, Nintendo, Sanrio, even major sports leagues.
Wow, and that's not just about slapping a logo on a bear, is it? This lets them sell different kinds of products.
Absolutely. It allows them to create these high-value collectible items aimed squarely at older fans. And that pushes up the average spend per transaction quite a bit.
Makes sense. Collectibles are huge.
And they tailored their digital side to match this. They still have the online bear builder, that's for everyone. But then they launched 2 sites specifically aimed at adults.
Ah, I saw that. A bear cave, which is age-gated, right, for collectors.
Exactly. And the Heartbox gift site. So the physical stores stay fun and interactive for families, but their e-commerce becomes this engine for higher margin gifts and collectibles for that older demographic.
Right.
A very smart segmentation.
But it wasn't just about selling things, was it? There was mention of entertainment.
Yes. They actually set up Build-A-Bear Entertainment.
Ah.
They realized the brand itself is valuable IP. It can make money beyond just selling plush toys.
Okay, that's interesting. An entertainment division often sounds good on paper, but what are they actually doing? What kind of content?
It seems to be a mix, short-form stuff, longer-form content, probably for different platforms. The goal looks twofold. First, keep people engaged continuously, keep the brand top of mind for kids and nostalgic adults, hopefully leading to more purchases.
Okay, continue engagement.
Second, it lets them develop their own intellectual property, stuff they own outright. That could generate ongoing revenue through licensing, distribution. It's not just a one-off sale of a bear. It's building repeatable income streams from that brand equity.
Right, turning affection into annuities almost.
Ah.
Okay, so that covers the brand and digital shift. What about the physical stores? The report mentioned huge growth there, too. 589 locations globally by Feb 2025. That's a net increase of 64 in 1 year.
The growth number is strong, yeah, but the real insight from the filing is how they grew. They didn't just open more mall stores. They fundamentally diversified their footprint into 3 different models. It's about managing risk and scaling up smartly.
Okay, let's break those down. The first one is the traditional model.
Right, segment 1. Corporately managed locations. They call it DTC, direct-to-consumer. That's where they lease the space, hire the staff, run the whole show. They have 368 of those, mostly US, Canada, UK, Ireland.
Okay, standard retail.
Yeah.
Then the second model, you said that was the growth engine.
Yes, the partner-operated or third-party retail model. This is really interesting. They have 138 of these. Here, the company just sells its products wholesale to a partner. Think Carnival Cruise Line, Great Wolf Lodge Resorts, Landry's restaurants, even the Girl Scouts.
Ah, so the partner runs the actual bear-making experience.
Exactly. The partner handles the space, the staff, the whole interaction. For the company, this is incredibly asset light. They have basically zero real estate risk for that location, minimal fixed labor costs tied to it.
That's a huge shift. Moving into tourism, hospitality, completely different from a mall. But does that create issues? Like consistency. Is the experience the same on a cruise ship as in one of their own stores?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The trade-off. The filing suggests the capital efficiency wins out, assuming they keep tight control on standards and partner training. But it's definitely a risk to watch.
And the third model?
International franchising. Purely capital-light expansion overseas. They have 83 franchise stores under 5 master agreements, places like South Africa, Australia, the Gulf states. Minimal investment for them to enter those markets.
So a mix of owned, partnered, and franchised. And they've changed the type of store too, right? Less traditional mall focus. The discovery format.
Yeah, the discovery format is crucial. It's smaller, more flexible, think kiosks or adaptable small inline spots. It lets them get into high traffic, non-traditional venues, tourist spots, resorts with lower setup costs and overhead. And it's not niche. It's now 52% of their entire store base.
Wow, over half. That flexibility must help with online orders too.
Definitely. They've really optimized their physical stores to double as many fulfillment hubs. Supports the growing digital sales efficiently.
You mean like ship from store?
Exactly. Buy online, ship from store, buy online, pick up in store, click and collect. They use that store inventory and staff to get online orders out faster and cheaper than relying solely on big warehouses. It integrates everything.
Okay, let's talk results, because this strategy clearly paid off. You mentioned the record pre-tax profit. $67.1 million. It's huge.
It really is, and it's consistent performance, too. Their core North American stores, the ones open all year, average $1.2 million in net retail sales each across the last 3 fiscal years, 2024, 2023, and 2022.
Solid. And they're using that cash well, giving it back to investors.
Very actively. In fiscal 24 alone, they returned $42 million to shareholders. That included starting a quarterly dividend about $11 million, plus they bought back $31 million of their own stock.
Starting a dividend is a big signal of confidence.
Absolutely. And they doubled down, authorized another $100 million for share repurchases in September 2024. They clearly expect the cash to keep flowing.
Which brings us to the real kicker, the stock market performance. How did Wall Street react to all this?
This is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. The filing shows the 5-year total return from Feb 2020 to Feb 2025. Okay, so if you put $100 into their stock back in early 2020,
right,
by early 2025, that $100 would have turned into $1,187.23.
Wait, seriously, over $1,100 from $100 in 5 years?
Seriously. Now compare that. The same $100 in the Russell 2000 index give you back $141.74. In the Russell 2000 Consumer Discretionary Index, $154.26.
That's not just outperformance, that's completely crushing the benchmark. The market definitely noticed this turnaround.
No question. They rewarded the strategic shift, the diversification, the focus on profit.
Okay, but success like that rarely comes easy. The report mentioned headwinds, right? Operational challenges. What were the big ones in FY24?
Yeah, definitely challenges. Inflation was a big one. It hit them mainly through higher wages for store staff, especially as they were expanding.
How do they handle that?
They mention strategic price increases on highly sought-after products, basically raising prices on the popular stuff to protect their margins. But they do expect inflation, particularly wage pressure, to stick around in fiscal 25.
Makes sense. And the supply chain.
Yeah.
Getting goods, dealing with tariffs, especially from China.
They've been really aggressive in shifting their manufacturing. It wasn't long ago, pre-2020, that over 90% of their stuff came from China.
Wow, 90%.
In fiscal 24, they got that down to 58%. And Vietnam picked up a huge chunk now, providing 38% of their merchandise. That's a massive shift, driven by risk mitigation, tariffs, geopolitics. Same story for a lot of retailers right now.
Diversifying away from China. And they bought inventory early, too.
Yeah, they accelerated inventory purchases late in fiscal 24, basically stocking up because they weren't sure what tariff costs might look like down the road, hedging their bets.
Okay, what about real estate risk? You mentioned those different models, but within the own-leased stores, are there specific risks?
There's a really interesting difference between North America and the UK Ireland highlighted in the 10K.
Oh, yeah.
In North America, leases tend to be shorter, more flexible. If the market turns down, maybe you can renegotiate. But in the UK and Ireland, many of their leases have what's called an upwards-only rent
Huh.
review clause, usually every 5 years.
Upwards only. What does that mean exactly?
It means the base rent can only go up or stay the same at the review point. It can never go down, even if the local retail property market has completely tanked.
Ouch. So if market rents fall, they're stuck paying the old higher rate.
Precisely. It locks in potentially high costs and removes downside flexibility. That's a significant financial risk tied specifically to those Ireland locations that they don't face as much in North America.
Good detail. Okay, one last risk area, especially with that e-commerce growth, cybersecurity. How are they managing digital threats?
They seem pretty structured about it. The board gives oversight responsibility to the audit committee. That committee meets quarterly, at least, to go over their security posture.
And they have the right people.
They mention having expertise on staff, the CTO,
Sure.
a director of security with certifications like certified ethical hacker, computer hacking forensics investigator. They seem invested in protecting that digital side as it becomes more critical.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the big takeaway seems to be this. Incredible success built on discipline, taking a beloved, nostalgic brand, but being really strategic about diversifying how and where they sell, moving beyond just malls.
Right. Expanding into asset-light formats like partnerships and franchising, targeting new customers like adult collectors, developing their own IP, all while keeping costs and risks mostly under control.
It's quite the pivot.
Yeah.
Leveraging emotion, but executing with financial discipline.
Exactly. And if you think about their mission, add a little more heart to life, they managed to scale that experience through these diverse channels, including partners like cruise lines and resorts, which leads to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go on.
As they lean more into these asset-light partner-run models globally, how do they ensure that core experience, that special, emotional, heart-adding moment of creating a bear stays consistent and high quality? When it's not their own staff delivering it, how do you maintain the magic when you're focused on scale? That's the ongoing operational puzzle they need to solve.